Då ska jag snabbt gå igenom lite om vår examinationsuppgift och i kursen tillämpad IoT 1DT 305. Och I'll go straight to it. Vi kommer att använda oss av HackMD. Så gör er bekanta med den här. Jag då ska visa själva våran projektreport och jag vill bara säga att det finns en möjlighet att det kommer vara ändringar i den här längs resans gång. Men i stora drag här nu så är tanken med kursen här att vi gör att ni alla ska göra en tutorial som ni sätter upp som om ni hade beskrivit ett projekt. Och först då öppna ett account på HackMD. Ni kan använda ert studentkonto som första choice. Jag tvingar inte någon till det. Använd då templaten, står det här. Nummer 2. Templaten kommer lite nedanför här. Och det viktiga här nu är att checkboxes need to be fulfilled. Och det betyder att under varje sektion här nu i templaten så har jag gjort checkboxes så att ni ska kunna veta precis vad som krävs för att bli godkänd. Den här lilla stjärnan här menas advanced level och det är ni som då har presenterat ert arbete innan vecka 2 och diskuterat detta under en workshop och satsa på ett högre betyg. Ni ska också se till att stjärnmarkeringarna då blir ifyllda. Publish your tutorial as seen in figure 1 och kollar vi här nu då så ser ni att när ni gör detta i HackMD så när ni är klara med den då så ser ni till att ni publicerar den och sen kommer ni få en liten länk sen som ni kommer använda och skicka in i Moodle-systemet då. Och sen upload your tutorial according to the instructions on the learning platform. Of course, be awesome. Ni skriver denna på engelska eller svenska. Det är lite upp till er. Jag skulle rekommendera att ni skriver den på engelska. Det blir betydligt mer öppet och tillgängligt för alla om vi håller den på engelska i första hand. Men jag vill bara nämna det. Det är inget krav. Ni måste inte. Och liten bonus då. Och jag har funderat länge på hur jag ska göra på ett bra sätt här. Min idé här nu är att vi ska bygga upp en schysst bank här nu i och med att det är första gången vi kör den här kursen. Och alla ni som gör goda exempelprojekt, och då menar jag ni som satsar på ett högre betyg och gör ett bra projekt, ni kommer också att bli publicerade på våran kurshemsida som goda exempel. Så detta följer med som en bonus då. Några exempel för inspiration. Ni hittar 1 miljon till sådana här om ni söker runt lite grann och ni kan in där. Med de här exemplen vill jag bara vara tydlig med att jag menar inte att de här skulle vara automatiskt godkända i den här kursen eftersom de inte innehåller de här underpunkterna jag har gjort utan det ser det som en inspiration och detta är lite av min sinnebild med den här uppgiften. Istället för att ha en akademisk tung uppgift med referenser, källor så gör vi en straightforward tutorial. Hands-on. Just go. Okej, våran template. Det som ni ska göra då när ni gör den här uppgiften är att det enklaste är att ni tar den här texten, kopierar in den i ett eget dokument och sen fyller ni egentligen bara i och försöker svara på frågorna därefter. Och likaså när ni utvärderar era medstudenters arbeten, då tittar ni på den här templaten och kan i stort sett bara fylla i, har jag uppfyllt alla de här sakerna. Title, of course you need a title. Your student name and student credentials, you have a short student credential name, which is something like a number and a couple of letters. You write your short project overview, obviously what the project is about. Think of this section as the introduction part. And also try to give an approximation on how long the project will take to do. Under the objective, so describe why you have chosen to build this specific device and what purpose does it serve. It doesn't need to be very advanced. What I need you to explain is why you chose it. It can be a pretty simple reasoning behind this. What purpose does it serve? It could be that, I want to know if my plants are still alive, or if I have gotten mail in my mailbox, or if there are any animals home or not, but some purpose. And what insights do you think it will give? Well, what's the added benefit of that new insights? So try to think about that. If you don't have a clear idea now, well, you could just copy and take another idea and make it your own. That's totally okay, as long as you embrace it and write it up in a report form, like in this tutorial. Next section, you need to explain all the material. So all the sensors, all wiring, and all material you need to complete your project. And this is a tutorial, so it means that someone else should be able to take and look at your tutorial as a manual and do it themselves. So what I need is the list of material, what the different things do. So you have sensors, you have a PyCom device, or perhaps something else. You might use an Arduino and connect that with the PyCom device. I don't know. And just some short specifications on these things. And also, I think it might be important, and where you bought them and how much they cost. That's a good thing. I mean, if someone wants to do this again, well, please be as specific as possible. That's even better. Just as an example here, I grayed it out a little bit, so perhaps you should put this in a table. It's just as an example. And also some pictures, always nice. Next section, computer setup. I want you to explain which IDE you have chosen and how the code is uploaded, and steps that you needed to do for your computer, like if you installed some drivers or Node.js, etc. This obviously differs between Mac OS, Windows and Linux, and also depending on which version you have of your operating system. But write it down, and that might be a helpful advice for someone else that tries to approach your project. And at least it's very important that you show which environment which you're in. And then putting everything together, well, at least in this section, you need a circuit diagram. And I'm just saying, it can be a hand-drawn diagram. Just pen and paper, draw some very simple wiring, and I've connected this sensor to pin 8 and pin 10. And this is the ground, and this is the 3.3 volt or whatever. So it can be very simple. Just take a picture or scan your hand-drawn painting. Even better if you make it in on your computer in a CAD program or just a drawing. Now we're at the first star advanced level. If you want to go to the advanced level, you need to do some kind of electrical calculations. I'm not specifying exactly how they should be or how advanced they should be, but you need to do some kind of calculation. Either you calculate the required power or voltage drop, or you make a calculation of a voltage divider, you make a calculation on the wiring you have and how thick they need to be, etc., etc. Or how many resistors, or the power requirement of the device. But some kind of electrical calculation, it's needed for the advanced level. And then we come to the platform. Describe your choice of platform. And And also, if you've tried different platforms, it can be good to provide a comparison. So, if you have a cloud or a local installation, do you plan to use a paid subscription or a free one? Describe the different alternatives on going forward if you want to scale your idea. So let's say that you have a wonderful idea here. So, and the answer is that you don't need to scale your idea. It's okay to just say that I'm just playing around, and well, if I'm going to scale this up, well, I would have probably done, I need to take it a totally different route. So the basic level here is describe the platforms in terms of functionality. What can the platform do, and what are you doing? And the advanced level is that you have to explain and elaborate what made you choose this platform especially. That means that you need to put up some kind of comparison between different platforms. And then we come to the code section. This is an important section because, I mean, the code, if you don't provide the code, it will be impossible to redo your project. And most of you are going to write MicroPython. Well, I would say I think all of you. So it's pretty easy to just insert this code here, and just going to show you. This is a Markdown language, which you will learn. It's a very easy language, and you will get your head around it, no problem. But just to elaborate on when you create a code block in Markdown, you have three little apostrophes. Okay, I can't pronounce that. Yeah, and then just defining the language, that's Python, and the equal sign says that you want a line number. But don't worry, if you just copy this template, you will get the code block for free. So just import the code, copy paste, and it's done. In this section, I really don't want any of the libraries that you use, only your code. So let's see this as your main code, not anything more than that. And then it will be too much otherwise. So you'll have to write which libraries you're using. So if you write some kind of code that uses the one-wire library, obviously you need to mention that I've used the one-wire library and found at this GitHub address or whatever. Then transmitting the data and connectivity. You need to at least say how often the data is sent, which wireless protocols did you use. This is important. Did you use Wi-Fi, LoRa? Well, perhaps you used Bluetooth or narrowband IoT. So please explain what you did use, and also which transport protocols were used. And then I'm talking about MQTT, webhook, etc. So you don't really need to explain the reasoning if you're just going to like the basic level. Just explain, just show what you did, that's all. If you want to go to a high grade, when we go to the advanced level, you have to elaborate on the design choices regarding data transmission and wireless protocols. Well, for instance, if you use LoRa, you will have a long range and low power. But, well, you can't send very much data. You're very limited to the amount of data. If you want to send a lot of data, Wi-Fi might be the better choice. Well, you get the point. You have to elaborate on which choices you did during the way. And also, it's not only that easy that you can just choose LoRa or Sigfox. You can make choices even within that protocol. How it's the data rate, and how much bytes do you send, and how often, etc. And then we go to the maybe one of the most interesting parts, and presenting the data. So you have to show what you do with the data. So in this section, visual examples on how the dashboard looks. So just take a screenshot. Like, okay, this is my dashboard. You can use PyBytes, you might use My Devices KN, you might use ThinkSpeak, or a flora of different other services that you can use. Or you use a local installation of Telegraph, Influx and Grafana, and you provide some screenshots, pictures of your dashboard in Grafana. But just some visual pictures. This is like how I present my data. Also explain how often the data is saved in the database. And then for like the advanced level, once again, a little bit more of an explanation is needed. So you have to explain the choice. So explain and elaborate on why you did what you did, not only present what you did. And also in the advanced level, I want some kind of automation or trigger of the data. So if temperature rises above a certain threshold or below, or if data is not received for a certain amount of time, something happens because of something. So you need to at least do something that includes some kind of automation. This could be in the cloud. It can also be on the device, but some kind of automation trigger. And then finalizing the design. This is the conclusion part. So just show the final results of your project. A nice picture of your device. Okay, this is how it all went. Just give your final thoughts on how you think the project went, and well, what could you have been doing? What could you have done in another way? If you have unlimited resources, would you have like used 10 PyCom devices and built them together and linked them, or would you have rather bought another sensor? So just short elaboration on that. So show the final results of the project. Pictures, really good. And write that up. Also, the next level here is a video presentation, which you can record and just link in a YouTube video or something when you explain and show off your project on a video setting as well. So I think that's about it for the project report and template. So just to say again, in the table of contents, this is how you write your tutorial, and here the template starts. So when you're going to write your report, copy and paste and copy the markdown code into a new document, and off you go. Thank you.